Hi everyone, so I'm back to share a let's make tutorial thing with you. I've been asked a few times how I made the pouches, and it's not something that I created or anything, but I'm going to show you how I do mine. I'm using obviously a block bottom paper bag. Mine measures 11 3/4 by 6, but I am going to open it out so it will be wider. I'm also using for the sections inside, I'm just going to use some very large book pages, and I'll show you how I do the little sections inside once I get to that point. I'm using my own kit, which is Blu Butterfly, and I will link that below. So I'm just going to quickly show you that. You get that page there. It's mainly a pocket and tag page book, not a tag page book, a tag pack, a pocket and tag page. I'll get that out, won't I? We've got these, and we've got them, and we've got them. You've also got, this is a freebie which you can find in my shop as well, and there's something else, and we've got this envelope here as a freebie too. So let's get started. Okay, right, to start with, I'm just going to check that I'm in frame here. Yep. Open the paper bag right out. Now there's a few ladies that have done these, one of them being Roxy Creations, and the other one I see do this was Gina from Firefly Studio 67, I think it is. So you just got to make sure you open that out, flatten it down, try and get this to lay down nicely, because sometimes it does play up. I'm going to shove my ruler in now to try and get that. It can be a little bit fiddly. It would do now that I'm doing a video. There we go. Okay, we are going to cover this over. Okay, so fold that down. So that's going to fold down. We're going to glue that in a minute. Right, now if you're not stitching, you can just glue things down, but I'm going to stitch, and I will stop and do the stitching off camera. Okay, so now I want that here, and I'm just going to fold that in, but taking it up to about here, about 1/2 inch, I would say. Try and keep it straight so that your pouchy flap is going to be straight, and then you can see where that's folded there. Take this up, and don't take that right up to that line because you want a bit of space. And just fold that down. Just like so. And we'll get the glue. Oops. Sorry about that big clatter of a noise. I know the last time I done a video there was a lot of noises. I think it's the metal arm that holds my phone. I think when I'm putting things down, it's just vibrating off of that. So hopefully it won't do it this time. Okay, so I'm just going to glue that down and get a bit of kitchen roll to wipe away the extra glue that I didn't mean to put down there. Okay, so you can wait for that to dry, or you can just carry on. Okay, so now I'm going to use the page that you get with the kit. I've printed that out a couple of times, so I'm just going to trim that. I should have trimmed all these down first, but I didn't. Silly me. And I just prefer to use my ruler and a craft knife when I'm doing this, because sometimes I don't get it straight in the paper trimmer, and even like miss little bits when I'm doing this as well. I'm going to try and do this obviously as quick as possible. I don't want it to be a great big long video. Okay, so I will then choose which bit I want to be down the bottom here, and like I said, I don't do a lot of measuring, just so you know. Do I want that bit or do I want that bit? I think I'll have this bit, so I'm just gonna eyeball this. But if you want to measure, I would take it just in about like 1/16 of an inch. Is that right? 1/16? This is what I mean, this is why I don't measure. Right, so I'm just going to fold that along there, then trim that off. Now obviously you can use whatever papers you wish. That'll come in handy for something else. Right, so that there. And then I'm just going to take that to there and fold it over. And just line that up straight. Or as straight as I can do it, which I just didn't do that. Okay. I'm going to glue that on there. I'm just going to put my glue stick straight onto there because I'm going to stitch. I just want it held in place a little bit. This glue is a bit gunky, very tacky it is. I know I want it to be tacky, but it's like, you can see all the little bits coming off, like there. I think it's the heat that does that. And I'll just put a little bit of this around the edge as well for double security, even though I'm stitching. Okay, now you could ink all that up, but I could do that afterwards. So that's that piece. Then I'm going to, now will that fit? That might fit perfectly on there, but it's a little bit too, it's not wide enough, so I'll use that for up here. Right, so when it's up here, I just do more or less the same, and I'll fold that up to there, and then I'll trim that off. I'm trying to keep that straight. And then I put that back on there, and where the little corners are, I just fold that up like so. Do the same on the other side, maybe a little bit more there, and then trim that off. And then I'm going to glue that on there as well. A little bit of that. And that was a bit too much there. Right. Sorry if I bumped the camera. I'm trying to do an overhead look and the camera's in my way. Right, so that's that bit done. I'm going to use another piece of that, or shall I use the, let's see, I might use that. So this is the freebie sheet that you can find. And like I said, these are on my website. They're in the digital section and on the main page on my website, just so that it's, because sometimes people don't look in the digital side, so I kind of put it in the digitals and on the main page. Okay, right, making sure it's all the right way up. I'm just gonna eyeball that again. And hopefully after I've done this, I'm going to show you how I do my little trifold using cardstock, just, you know, because I don't have any file folders. I've used them all. But if you use a really thick cardstock, you can do just the same thing, just patching it up, and right, again, making sure that's the right way, making sure it's all kind of in line, and then just folding it. You could tear it with your ruler if you wanted to, but this is just how I do it. I think we all find our own ways of doing things, and that's great. Doesn't all have to be uniformed. Okay, a little bit of glue. Sorry, I heard that clank then. I'm going to have to try and do something with that. Because obviously when I'm just showing a video, I'm not really picking stuff up and putting it down to stop that noise. Just have to be more gentle. Okay, so I'm just going to stand up and try and get that straight. Right, so that's the outside all covered. Here that's been glued down. I'm going to back this piece here. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'm gonna use some music paper, which is from this big sheet, this big book here. Which I got from Lou at Fernley, who is on YouTube, and tomorrow evening she's going to be doing a live with lots of paper packs and fabric packs and things like that, and I do believe there will be things like this in the paper pads. So I'm just going to fold that right up to there where that line is, and tear that off. And then here again, I'm just going to fold. No, I'm not. I'm going to, I think I'm just going to see if I can tear this without making a, that didn't go too well, but let's see. Trim that down. Right, I need to change my blade. Not change it, just snap a piece off, because that started to tear and I don't want that. See that? It started to tear because my blade is a bit blunt. So take that in a bit. There we go. And take that a tiny piece off of here. You could just put coffee dyed paper if you wanted to. Okay, so that there, fold that in to about there, and do the same that side. Trim that off. And then we're going to glue that down as well. To be honest, I'm going to use some of this to do that because the paper is old and I don't want it, you know, breaking up or anything like that. So that was just a matte medium, which I seem to use a lot of these days. I blame Andrea for that. Okay. And I'm just going to line that up. That's a little bit too much off of there, but going to be stitching around it, so stitching all kind of. Okay, I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to sew all around. So I will sew up there, all around there, back down there, also along here, along here, along here, and along here. I'm not going to sew it closed, so I'm going to go and do that, and then I will be back. Okay, so I've sewn it all, and like I said, oh, still a bit of cotton there. If you're going to glue it, just make sure all your edges are glued down properly, because you don't want it to come away. Right, now to make the, you can use envelopes if you want to, but I'm going to be using these book pages, so I'm just going to set that outside for a minute. So what I'm going to do is fold all these book pages. I will have to trim them down, obviously, but these are nice thick book pages that you can use inside. Use envelopes, any type of book page that you like. Just make sure they're not like really, really thin, because you don't want things ripping. Okay, so I'm using 4 of those, right? And what I do is I measure, obviously, from like there to there. Now that is 4 and nearly a quarter, so I'm going to make them at 4, and I'm just going to score them with my paper trimmer. Okay, so 4, actually I'm just going to take it just slightly under 4 and score that. These pieces here I'm going to fold inside so that it gives like extra support around, like, you know, the lip of these. And really pretty butterflies on there, isn't there? Okay, so where it's scored, I'm just going to fold them in. And where's that one scored? There. So fold them in, and I'm just going to glue them. I'm going to glue just up and around there. Just to hold them down. And obviously do that to all 4, well, all the other 3 that needs doing. So I will carry on doing that, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I have done all the gluing of them little flappy bits, and I just need to trim the sides off on all of them because they are just a tad too big, I think. Let me see. Oh, actually no, they're not, but they're a little bit raggedy there, so I don't want that. So I'm just gonna what have I done with my ruler? There it is. I'm just going to trim them bits off. But if your book page fits perfectly, then that's absolutely fine. Sometimes you have to, even if you use envelopes, you have to kind of trim them down if you don't have the right size. So okay, that should be more or less perfect. Right, all I need to do now is glue down here and here on all 4 of them. Make sure you use a good glue for that. You could stitch down each side if you want to, but I'm just doing this for convenience for the video. Otherwise it will take forever. Okay, right. You could ink up all around them if you want to. I'm not gonna. So making sure that you've got all your openings up the right way, like that. Okay, because I've done that before and glued them all upside down, or some up the wrong way, or down the wrong way I should say. So just putting a little bit of this on there, just in the middle area, and then a little bit of this as well. One of the first journal things I made was using envelopes way back about 8 years ago, and it was a long, tall, skinny thing, and when you opened it up it was all the envelopes and you could put all tags in them, and this was the same method. And I think I got that idea from Laura Dennison, who is Follow the Paper Trail. Yeah, a long time ago. The video is still on my channel. It was when I didn't speak in my videos and I used to be really nervous. Right, so just in the middle. I think back then I actually used like double-sided tape, just a strip down the middle. If you've got a really good double-sided tape, then by all means use that. Okay, so with a wet glue it gives a little bit of time to move things around if you don't get it all straight. Then you come back in with this. We're nearly done, and you kind of line it up, do that. And what I do is a little bit in there, making sure your openings are at the top, because we don't want no openings. Just fold that up. Definitely would, after you've done all this, let this sit for a bit before you start filling it, because of, like, you know, let the glue dry and things like that. And there we go. Ta-da! Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So that's how I do them. And like I said, this wasn't my idea. I'm just doing this so that those that have asked know how to do it. Because someone said to me, where's the video on this? I may have done one before, I can't remember. But I'd watched Gina and Roxy Creations do this about 3, 4, maybe 5 years ago. Yeah, about maybe three years ago that they'd done something like this. So I don't really know, like, you know, they make a lot of videos, these ladies, so it would take me forever to scroll through all the videos to find out where it is. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, just ask, and I'm off to do the trifold now. So thanks for watching. Bye.